The second biggest prize in snooker, despite the fact that David Gray is ranked some 10 places above him. In a scrappy opening session, it was Maguire who seized the early advantage to go one up. But Gray has shown himself to be a fighter this week, and he bounced back in spectacular fashion to level matters at 1-1. Another low-scoring frame went Maguire's way, and Gray's frustration was growing as a series of errors left him trailing 3-1 at the mid-session interval. The errors continued in frame 5, and Maguire took advantage to lead 4-1. It was getting even harder for Gray to watch. Lady Luck was on his opponent's side too, as 4-1 quickly became 6-1. Then Maguire simply shifted up a gear. The first century break of the final extended his lead to 7-1. And in the final frame of the session, the Scot was even more impressive. A break of 131 left him 8-1 in front. He has one hand on the trophy, and Gray is in need of something approaching a miracle if he's to turn things around tonight.
Well, it certainly has been a nightmare for David Gray this afternoon. He's got progressively worse in this match as Stephen Maguire's got progressively stronger. And, of course, we've ended up with an 8-1 scoreline. In a position like this, Steve, what can you do?
I think David Gray's got to hope he gets off to a good start, and then possibly he can get some pride back. But he's got to win this session 9-1. And against a player like Stephen Maguire in the form he's in, I'm not too sure that's possible. But as Hazel said, spooky things have been happening here in York this week.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you welcome Stephen On Fire Maguire? And please give a big welcome to the mighty atom, Mr. David Gray. So David Gray, the world number 14, has had an unforgettable fortnight in York after his maximum break and a run to this final. But he's up against a man whom world number 1 Ronnie O'Sullivan has said could dominate the game for many years to come. And tonight might be the start for Stephen Maguire. He needs 2 more frames for the title. And taking the first shift in the commentary box this evening, we welcome a former winner and a former runner-up in this championship, John Virgo and Willie Thorne. Good evening, gentlemen.
Well, good evening, Hazel. Good evening, everybody. Needless to say, I was the runner-up. But one of these two gentlemen are clearly going to be a runner-up this evening. At this moment in time, looks like David Gray. But this scoreline doesn't really tell the full story. David Gray had lots and lots of chances in the opening 4 or 5 frames, and he looks like he's forgot his chalk at the moment. But that'll be sorted out very, very soon. It was a session that didn't really tell the story, Don, isn't it? 8-1.
Yeah, well, the first 4 frames could have gone either way. Just let me just explain what's happened. It looks like David's forgot his chalk, and we remember in the Grand Prix at Preston, where, funnily enough, Stephen Maguire forgot his chalk and was deducted a frame for not being ready for play. So have the rules changed?
I think the slight difference was he actually asked the referee where he can go and fetch his chalk, and then went to fetch it. David, I think, was lapping because he wasn't going to leave the auditorium. He was going to stay there. Yeah. A little bit of amusement going in the crowd. We're not too sure what it is, but it's a packed crowd here at the Barbican Centre. And it has been all week. In fairness, considering some of the top seeds have been knocked out, John, we've got to be pleased the way the public have responded.
He'll get it.
Oh, it's been absolutely marvellous, and we've seen some unbelievable matches. I mean, the performances of Stephen Maguire, and who will ever forget, as David goes to get his chalk. But he didn't leave the arena, but whether he was ready for play or not, that's another matter.
10th frame, David Gray to break.
Anyway, David gets the first frame of this. Well, there's a possible 10 frames. He'd be delighted if there was 10 frames this evening with David Gray. He was behind 3-1 at the mid-session interval, and since then David Gray has only scored 43 points. And that's in 5 frames. David Gray, as I say, only scored 43 points, and Stephen Maguire, finishing with 2 centuries, the last 2 frames of that first session, was really in the ascendancy. It's there. Good shot.
Oh, this crowd don't want to see only 2 frames. Massive round of applause for that pot. They'd like to be kept here for quite some time.
9.
And while we're mentioning the UK Championship, Hazel mentioned that I was runner-up one year and you won it one year, John, and it's 25 years today since you won the UK Championship.
Yes, I can't say I'm wearing that well.
That was my next comment.
Yes, 25 years. So where did it go? Where did it go?
David Gray, 60.
When he went into the cluster, he didn't develop anything, and it's not a bad safety shot now. He's covered the red to the right corner. But the only red, or one of the only reds that Stephen Maguire can hit, is the one on the left-hand side of the table. It's a red he normally takes on.
Just while there's a little gap in play, something happened to John Virgo all that many years ago, similar to what could have happened here. John Virgo actually arrived late for his starting time, thought it was a 1 o'clock start and it was a 12 o'clock start, and he was deducted 2 frames. We could have had that happen in the opening frame here. If David Gray had left the arena, he could have been deducted a frame. Didn't happen this time though.
Well, we could clearly see it went, so that was a missed opportunity.
It's been mentioned many times he practices with Stephen Hendry, and that's a typical Stephen Hendry shot. Bringing all reds into play with a safety, just to make his opponent make sure he doesn't leave an easy pot on. Well, that looked impossible to overcut that, but overcut he did. Easy chance for Stephen Maguire, but black and green not available if he pots the one in the middle because of the red over the left-hand corner, so he's going to have to play a different choice of colour.
Well, it was a bonus getting through to that red.
1.
Although he's not landed perfect on the colour. But now that red's out of the way, the black later on will be available.
3. Four.
The green's well clear of the black spot, so it's not going to worry him potting the black here. Ideally like the green out of the way, because if you ever get high on the black, it means you can't run through off the cushion because of where the green is. It's clearly free from the black spot, as you can see from that camera angle. The red next to the pink must be pottable, because he's gone high for anything else.
11. 12. 80. 90.
He's in a very good position now. A position that not only this week, but this season, he's been scoring very heavily. Lost in the final of the British Open a couple of weeks ago to John Higgins. And, well, you've got to say, well, he just looks to have supreme confidence in everything he's doing.
Yes, I've been extremely impressed, as I'm sure all the BBC viewers have. But going back to the match against John Higgins, and we've all seen John Higgins play some unbelievable snooker over the last 10 years, said that it was the best he'd ever played in a final, and it was still 9-6, so how well must Stephen Maguire have played? He's going to be around for a long time.
42. 48. 49. 56. 57.
The break goes to 57, so black and one more red will take him a step closer to winning this UK Travis Perkins UK Championship, the second biggest major.
64.
And there's
65.
already seen Stephen's mother here. John Parrott did an interview with her earlier on. And he's also got his granddad, and there he is, watching in the audience, Paddy Maguire. What a proud moment this will be 72. If he goes on to take this title.
Well, David Gray just shaking his head. Nothing he can do about it. He went for a very difficult red into the middle. Had an air of desperation about it. But just going back to Stephen's grandfather,
80.
according to his mother, on that interview with John Parrott, it was his grandparents who knocked the walls down to build a snooker room. I bet he's grateful to them now. David Gray will stay in his seat. Well, it's all one-way traffic at the moment. And Stephen Maguire now takes a 9-frames-to-1 lead, just needing one more frame to be UK Championship 2004.
Yes, and we've been checking the record books. Ronnie O'Sullivan beat Ken Doherty 10-1 3 years ago, and it could be that Stephen Maguire will emulate that achievement. But let's first of all, lads, talk about that little funny business at the start. I think people will remember at home in Preston at the Grand Prix, Stephen Maguire forgot his chalk and was docked a frame. How things change.
Yes, they do. I mean, it just sort of shows you that perhaps it takes an incident before it's resolved in the minds of all of the officials and everything.
I think the rule has changed now. It's now up to the behest of the match referee. Obviously, discretion will be used, and Colin Brinded thought, a little too cruel on David at this point, John.
Well, obviously, all they've done is put common sense there where there wasn't any before. And any rule that's got common sense is fine by me.
And let's talk about Stephen's granddad, Paddy, because, John, the story that you heard earlier on about his grandparents, it was really them who got him involved and encouraged in the sport.
Well, they were obviously serious about it because Paddy there and his wife remodelled the house, knocked the wall down, stuck a snooker table in for the young 9-year-old Stephen Maguire, and the rest is history, as they say. And here he is, looking like winning his first major championship. He's won a European, but we call the UK and the world the two big majors on our circuit, so this could be the first of many for him.
Yes, is the new king about to be crowned.
Well, it certainly could all happen in the next 15 or 20 minutes. I don't think anybody deserves to lose a final as convincing as it looks at the moment, and I think David Gray's given too much to this tournament to have get beaten 10-1. You can see the confidence is draining slowly out of him, but he's played some great snooker, this young man, David Gray. And he has won a tournament before, won the Scottish Open a couple of years ago. But he looks very depressed at the moment, and who can blame him? But he has had lots of chances. Maguire's dominated the last half a dozen frames, but prior to that, David Gray was well in the match.
Well, you always get the run of the ball when you're in front, and Stephen didn't play that safety shot very well and did well to get past the baulk line. Having said that, he has left a longish red on for David Gray, but this won't look any easier now. When you're 9-1 behind, you're playing for pride, that's the only thing, but well, there's no end in sight. Not in David's eyes. Not to win it. But yes, I agree with you, Willie. I think in the first 4 frames, particularly of this match, maybe the first 5 frames, David Gray had every chance and could have led. But he didn't take his chances. And against this quality of opposition,
6.
That was a recipe for, well, for losing this match heavily, because once he got a few frames in front, Stephen Maguire, he just got stronger and stronger, as all good players do.
The ball's absolutely perfect for a frame and match-winning contribution here. Some players sometimes struggle to get over the line, but great players
80
usually clear up without any
19.
problem, and this young man is a great player.
Well, he just missed his intended cannon there. He wanted to cannon the two
26.
reds together, and he just missed them. I don't know whether he's on this red to the right corner now. No, he's not. Oh, well, if he's got one to the right centre, then no problem. Oh, it goes. Still in good shape.
$27.
I remember, well, all summer, I don't know what it's been like for you, Willie, but everybody's been saying, well, who's going to beat Ronnie O'Sullivan now? He's unbeatable. And I said, well, you know, there's a lot of good young players about. Everybody was saying, no, there's no one can beat Ronnie now. And of course, this young man's beat him twice. We've got a new star in snooker. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I feel that every tournament he plays in now, he along with Ronnie O'Sullivan, will be the major players in most of the tournaments.
$41.
That's gone slightly astray. He'll probably be faced with the cut blue into the centre. Anything that could go wrong here, he'll kiss the yellow either on the way down or on the way back. So it's a case of getting through the gap twice. The gap of brown and yellow. He's got through the gap twice. He won frame 4 with a break of 85, and since then every single frame is made 40 or above, including 2 centuries and 2 80s. Very consistent. And it looks now, John,
48.
It could be all over shortly.
Yes, it does. I think the Travis Perkins UK Championship trophy is going to be in the hands of Stephen Maguire. He's been absolutely superb, and what a great tournament we've had. Okay, we lost a lot of the top players, but we've had some of the most exciting finishes and bizarre ending to matches that I can ever remember. But what I will take from this is the emergence of a new star in snooker. That's Stephen Maguire. He's been absolutely awesome. Sympathy for David. He's played great, but he just couldn't produce it today.
63.
And it is all about on the day, isn't it, Willie?
Oh, without any doubt. I mean, David Gray could have easily have won this tournament the way he was playing, but he's been outplayed by a better player. And once again, this knowledgeable Barbican centre crowd realise that's game and match ball. So he's made 10 centuries in this tournament, John.
71.
A chance of the 11th in the what will be the deciding frame for him would be a real feather in his cap.
Yes, it's been scoring of the highest
76.
quality.
$77.
Well, that may have cost him the century. It's a slow pink in the middle. drop on the red that's on the cushion behind the black. Not a certainty, this one. Well played. Needs a bounce though, needs an angle. I hope he gets a century. We'd finish this tournament off nicely.
'84.
The last four frames have gone 110, 131, 80, 91 and counting.
92.
We expect it from one of the top 3 or 4 players in the world, this kind of form. We didn't expect it from this young man. We do now. This crowd will love this.
Absolutely fantastic. It really is a pleasure to watch.
$102.
When you consider this match started off so slowly, neither player made a break above 40 until the 4th frame.
107.
As soon as Stephen Maguire saw that little bit of weakness from David, he just changed gear.
$111.
Well, there'll be plenty of people in Scotland very proud. How proud is Paddy Maguire? David Gray standing up, ready to throw the towel in, and he's applauding, which is very nice to see. Well, the black hasn't gone in. David Gray can only give his opponent a hug. Stephen Maguire is quite simply too good. He's finished off with a century, and he is now the Travis Perkins UK professional champion. Congratulations and well played.
Can I ask you to welcome the presentation party consisting of Frank Mackay, Group Chief Executive Travis Perkins, accompanied by Adrian Metcalf, a Director of World Snooker Limited. Thank you, gentlemen. And first to the runner-up, it's the runners-up trophy, of course. He's made the maximum break of 147 a bit earlier in the tournament. Our congratulations to David Gray. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to the winner. It's the beautiful trophy, and the title of this year's Travis Perkins United Kingdom champion goes to the brilliant Stephen Maguire. Stephen Maguire, ladies and gentlemen, a brilliant young champion.
Well, you've had easier days, haven't you?
Yeah, that's for sure. I missed a few earlier on, and then from then on, really just ran away with it. You know, he's playing brilliant stuff.
Yeah, the first session was very important, wasn't it? I mean, it could have been anything, sort of, you're 3-1 behind, been a little bit disappointed, and then after that, he just played fantastically well.
Yeah, I could have been 3-1 up instead of 3-1 down, and then I had a little bit bad run, I think, for the next few, and then once he got his confidence, there was no stopping him, really. He played brilliant.
Well, there's a lot of players in this tournament here this week. You finished second, you've had a maximum, got a few quid for Christmas. Not been the worst week, has it?
No. Obviously today was a bit of a nightmare, but if I'd coming into this tournament, I'd have settled for what's happened to me. So, I've had a good week.
Well played. David Gray, everybody. Well, what about that then?
Yeah, I played good all week.
I know that.
Just speechless, John. Just absolutely speechless.
Yeah, it's fantastic. We had a lovely story, by the way. It's great to see Paddy, your granddad, here as well, because the lovely story is, of course, that he knocked down a wall in the house, didn't he? Stuck a snooker table in when you were 9, and you went and played, and of course the rest is history. Here you're our UK champion.
Yeah, he's a big help. The whole family's a big help, really. I couldn't do it without them. Just speechless.
You do realise, of course, this could be a worrying trend. There might be people all around the country knocking walls down. They shouldn't be at the moment.
Oh, they should. Plenty of practice, and then that's it.
Of course, your regular practice partner is Stephen Hendry. That must have been a big help over the years.
Yeah, I practiced with Stephen for 4 years, and you can only learn off of that. I've practiced with John Higgins the last 2 years, so I mean, the practice is just great.
And ambitions for the rest of the season?
That was it. No, I was just hoping. I won the first tournament last year, and I was just hoping I wasn't a one-hit wonder, and I proved that I wasn't. So I'm just chuffed.
Well, congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. The UK champion is Stephen Maguire.